10K golf here for the Safeway Open top picks and preview here with Wildman. What up, Wildman?
Yo.
Coming off a big weekend playing golf, drinking beers. We won our scramble on the tiebreaker, so that was great. However, the big story of the week, I'm sure a lot of people saw on my Twitter, is the Wolf Goat sweeping the contest, winning $68,000, winning the $100 stinger for 50K, the $33 dog leg, and a qualifying ticket into the Golf World Championship, which is just absolutely incredible. Chance to win $500,000 in that contest. Incredible out of the Wolf Goat. Wild man, what do you say about the Wolf Goat?
Yeah, awesome story. Really proud of that guy for hanging in there with us, believing in us. He's been there from the beginning. He's been retweeting our stuff, helping us stay positive, jumping on board, and obviously deserves it, man. That's a huge score, and a guy that again, we're really proud of. So.
Yeah, I mean, talk about positivity. I mean, he is the believe guy. I mean, he's been saying it from the very beginning, and that was when he was winning a couple $100. He spun up a couple $100, went for it, listened to the strategy, picked high buy-ins, lower entries, and it came through for him. I mean, the guy took and scooped $68,000 off of, $200 and about $300. $300.
Yeah, he's not a regular player. New to the game, and was seeing what we were doing. Was understanding what we were playing and how to win and what you need to do, and getting a little risky and jumped on board. And I mean, hey man, I think I tweeted him, welcome to the club. So really happy for the guy. Great story, and hashtag let's win more.
Yeah, we'll get him on the show later this week, maybe even tomorrow. We'll get him on an interview and get the play-by-play of just what that day was like for him. While we were out there drinking beers, he was winning $68,000. So let's again, congrats, Wolf Goat. We'll get you in later. But let's jump into the Safeway Open top picks and preview. Interesting week this week with Siwoo Kim leading the at the top with $10,800 in the salary, followed by Phil Mickelson. Kuchar is out. Shane Lowry at 10-2, and to finish up the 10K, Brendan Steele. Brendan Steele, to me, seems like the best play here. Just first glance, the guy's in great form. I just think, the guy, he can win tournaments. He's definitely the best name, I believe, up here. What do you have to take on it, Wildman? The 10K range.
Siwoo Kim is a bit bizarre, being at the top of the board. I mean, you kind of never see that. Right around him, you've got Mickelson, Lowry, Garcia, Spieth, all major winners, all priced below him. So that's strange. But remember, Siwoo Kim's won the Players, won a couple other times on tour. He's contended in big events. So he's a guy to keep an eye on, and he's coming in with some good form.
I mean, he just shot a 62 a couple weeks ago at his third round on a T3 at the Wyndham Championship. So the guy can shoot low. Actually, 65, 65, 62, and then the next round, 64, 68. So he has low scores in him.
Yeah, I would caution the same thing I would caution with the dinosaur Mickelson, the Triceratops right below him. Is they can go low, but they can go super high too. So. Be careful what you wish for riding those guys. I'm with you on Steele, though. He's a two-time winner here at this course at Silverado. Back-to-back at 16 and 17. A couple other good finishes here. Coming in with some good form, which obviously earned his position on the board. When you look at guys around him, the same thing I just said about Siwoo Kim. You got Players champions and major champions sandwiched in around Steele, who's sitting there. So... But I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what gets me here. Brendan Steele's won it twice in the last, 4 years and has a 23rd place in the other one. So he's the safest play in kind of a weird week. I just like Brendan Steele up here. I'm probably going to start most of my lineups with Brendan Steele this week. Then you drop down to the $9,000 range where I think a lot of people are going to try to stack their lineups and probably start here, featuring Sergio Garcia, Jordan Spieth, Ches Reavie, Joel Damon, Doc Redman, Varner, and Streelman. Who's your top play out of the 9K range?
Well, one of the things I'm looking for here at this course is the guys that can string together birdies. I know we talk about this a lot on the podcasts, and obviously you want guys that make birdies, right? I'm not a brain surgeon for saying that, but this is a course where the final score is going to be low. Um, and so, you want to make sure you get those guys that can string them together. Um, I look at a guy like Snedeker, who's got the name recognition. He's got the course history here. He's these are POA greens, by the way, and he's allegedly one of the best POA putters on tour. I think he'll get a lot of ownership, and for me, it's a total fade. Just don't like his form. I think he's a has-been, and that's an easy fade for me.
Yeah, I don't know if
I love him being like 20% owned. You know what I mean?
I would love if he was 20% owned. I mean, cut 42nd, 51st, 67th, cut 41st, cut. So
yeah, I don't think like Van Ruin's gonna take much from him. I mean, Van Ruin's actually arguably a better electric guitar player than he is golfer.
I think Van Ruin will garner more ownership than Snedeker this week. I do.
I'll bet you on that. I'll take Snedeker higher ownership.
Okay.
We'll make a side bet on that.
Fine.
But,
okay. Who else sticks out to you here?
Yeah, I think Damon's one of the most interesting players. We look at a lot of times we look at the betting odds to win versus their DK value. So Damon's a guy that comes in fourth in odds. He's 28-1. The only guys with better odds to win are Steele, Siwoo, and Mickelson. But he's the 9th highest priced player on DraftKings. So there's a little bit of a disparity there, which gives you some value with him.
That's an interesting take. I mean, he is all the way down at 9,500, but he's the fourth. He has the fourth best odds to win the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bizarre for a guy that has no wins on tour. I mean, he's got some good finishes since the COVID restart. 10th at the PGA, at 20th at the WGC, but those really, aren't that great of finishes. I mean, a top 10 in a major is something to certainly hang your hat on, but top 20s on the PGA Tour for guys in this range, mid 9,000. You're going to need a little bit more than a T20 out of him. So he's a guy I think that there's a great argument to play him. But I think you've got some other guys, even a little bit cheaper, that might be better value.
Okay, so let's drop down there then. I like Joel Damon as a GPP play. I don't think I'm going to put him in my big lineup this week, but he's interesting just because of the odds there. Let's jump down to the cheaper guys then here, starting off the $8,000 range with Cam Davis, Keegan Bradley, Duncan has some good history here, Hubba Hub, and Lucas Glove. So who do you like in the $8,000 range?
Not a very wide range, is it? Nobody's the same price, so you only got 10 guys there.
Yeah, that's interesting. There is nobody.
Who?
Who?
Yeah, Davis is your guy, Cam Davis. I'll let. Actually, he's our guy, but he's your guy, really.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Davis is just a birdie maker, man. He is just 23 birdies, 22 birdies, 19 birdies, 21 birdies in his last four. I told you he strings things together. His 3 missed cuts out of the 4, he missed on the cut line, and then he had an 8th and 27th. So, I mean, I can't believe he's $8,900. I'm used to paying like $6,500 for him. But, man, you can't really deny his form, and he is just he's there. I'm going to try to fit him in this week, but, again, I see better value a little lower.
Yeah, he's climbing the world rankings too, Davis. And you always say he's a long iron player. Here, this is the 3rd shortest par 72 on the PGA Tour. So it doesn't favor long iron play necessarily. Favors more, course management and par 5 scoring. So, he's interesting, but like you said, you can't deny 20-plus birdies. Another guy I'd mention is Hubbard. He's a guy, like, there's so many people that think that he's probably like 24 years old, Hubbard. He's actually been on tour since 2012, turned pro almost a decade ago. He's got no wins, of course, and a very limited amount of top 10s, but That doesn't mean that you can't turn it around. And he's been popping up on leaderboards in big spots, and a good par 5 scoring player. So he's somebody at 8,100 that I really like, especially above the guy right on top of him, which is Will Gordon, who, in my data here, is the most overpriced player based on odds to win. So something interesting to think about.
So he's overpriced, not underpriced. So
Correct.
you would want to fade him essentially.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not on Will Gordon there. I like your take there. Let's drop down to the $7,000 range, featuring Denny McCarthy, who is a great play this week in my. Well, I'm not going to say in my opinion he's a great play, but he definitely strings up birdies and birdie streaks. He had 3 birdie streaks out of 4 rounds a few weeks back. So the guy can definitely string it together and has some incredible irons. I just don't think he can putter. Is it the other way around? No, he's a really good putter and doesn't have good irons. I can't remember, but
yeah, he might be number 1 on tour in strokes gained putting.
Yeah.
If he's not number 1, he's like right there.
Yeah, so he's streaky. I tend not to rely on a guy's irons that aren't typically on, and he's been relying on them. So that's an interesting play there. I think there's a lot of value here, especially Taylor Gooch. You're talking about those odds thing. He seems to be underpriced. Taylor Gooch at $7,300. I've seen him top 10 tournaments before. My favorite play though is Wesley Bryan, 24th, 21st, and 31st in his last 3. He's also a birdie maker. 17, 17, 22, and 12. Doesn't get too many bogeys. He's an iron player. I love Wesley Bryan at 7,100. He's actually probably my top DraftKings play this week just because of his value, and I just love his price. I think he could be easily, around 8,000 in my opinion.
Yeah. McCarthy is number 1 strokes gained putting, by the way, which is kind of strange because he's 180th in the world ranking with no wins, and you got to be kind of careful when you're playing these hot putters because if they putt average, that means that the rest of their game is going to bring them down. So he's a guy for sure that can string it together, but also a guy you got to be careful with. I like him this week, to be honest with you, but again, I wouldn't argue fading him. I think Luke List is interesting. I think McNeely can put birdies together. And I do like your Wesley Bryan pick as well. Not much history this year. He's only playing about once a month, coming off an injury. But yeah, I think he's got the skills. He won the RBC a few years ago. He's got some skills.
Yeah, yep. And then Taylor Gooch, I like him this week at $7,300. So it looks like Luke List, Taylor Gooch, possibly McNeely. You said. And then one more guy I want to bring up that they say a corollary course is the Barracuda. Troy Merritt has back-to-back second places at the Barracuda. And the Barracuda isn't the best corollary course. I mean, it's not it's not exactly what this course is like, but it's the best corollary course out of any course to choose from. So I like Troy Merritt. He has a 4th or top 5 here for sure, and he has really good course history. So I like Troy Merritt at 7,100 as well. So that's going to pretty much do the $7,000 range for me. I don't see anything down here in the $6,000 range that I even want to put into my lineup, to be honest with you. Is there anybody down here that you like in the $6,000 range?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out a flyer here, and it is Joseph Bramlett.
Okay, $6,500. Joseph Bramlett.
$6,500, and the reason I bring him up is this: he finished 12th at the Barracuda, which you just mentioned was a corollary course. The other thing is that he's the 40th ranked. He's got the 40th best odds to win the event this week, and he's the 85th priced player on DraftKings. So that's a plus 45 range there. That's really, really big. And so that's just something that catches my eye. I don't really know much about his game other than he's a good greens and regulation player. I think he's top 25 on tour. And, a guy you just, probably he's going to come out here like this is the Masters, and maybe the bookmakers know something. And I think he's got a chance to go low this week. So
19 birdies and only 7 bogeys at the Barracuda, followed up by cut, and a cut. But hey, man, he's definitely going to be under 5% owned, and that guy can win you a lot of money